It is my pleasure to welcome you today to DMCC, to Jumeirah Lakes Towers, and of course the Almas Tower. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Malcolm Wall Morris, and it is my privilege and honour to lead DMCC as the Chief Executive Officer. I want to talk to you a little bit about Almas Tower. I mentioned it. It's many things. It is the region's tallest office building and the world's tallest diamond tower. It is the hub of the UAE diamond trade, and it is the centrepiece of the JLT free zone. Most importantly, it is the home of DMCC, the Dubai Multi-Commodity Centre, and a shining example of what can be achieved if one remains focused on delivery, despite the many distractions and hurdles that we face. Let me take just a few moments to explain so you can understand the DMCC story. About 10 years ago, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum created DMCC by royal decree and the gift of land, the JLT free zone. DMCC was tasked with stimulating the flow of commodity trade through Dubai as a trading centre. DMCC developed the 200 hectares of gifted land into the JLT free zone, and which is today the fastest growing free zone in the UAE. What does fastest growing mean? Well, in 2010, the fastest growing meant 725 new company registrations, 85% of whom were new to Dubai. In 2011, fastest growing means 743 new companies year to date, with 90% new to Dubai. So in the first 7 months of this year, we've already surpassed the total number of record registrations we completed in 2010. What that means in real numbers is that DMCC registers 5 new companies every single working day in 2011. An amazing achievement. What that also means is that JLT now comprises of 60 completed towers, which is home to almost 3,400 companies, 15,000 residents, and 12,000 workers. A magnificent achievement when we think that 10 years ago there was nothing here but desert and a vision. As a direct result of the creation of DMCC, Dubai's place as a commodity trading centre has never been stronger. All we need to do is look at some examples of the trade numbers that we can witness, and I'm going to give you 2 examples. The first is gold. In 2010, the value of the gold trade in Dubai was some $41 billion, an increase of 18% over 2009. Following close on the heels of gold, as the second highest traded commodity here in the DMCC, is diamonds. The diamond trade was some $35 billion in 2009. That figure is even more amazing when we consider that before DMCC was created, the value of the diamond trade was only $5 million. Working at DMCC is, if I'm very frank and honest, it's a privilege. And that privilege is heightened by the fact that we enjoy extremely strong leadership and direction from someone who has lived and breathed the DMCC story since inception. He has held several different positions, including Director of Marketing, Chief Operating Officer, and since 2007 has held the role of Executive Chairman. In 2011, he further assumed the role of HR Director, once again highlighting his ability to get the job done when required. Honoured guests, it gives me the greatest of pleasures to introduce you to our Executive Chairman, custodian of DMCC, and a shining example to us all of what can be achieved if we remain 100% focused and committed. I give you Ahmed bin Salman.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, we are pleased to welcome you to celebrate the unveiling of the, well, once it's unveiled, you know what it is. I'm not saying it right now. It's written on my speech for some reason. As Malcolm mentioned, DMCC in 2002 is a strategic initiative of the government of Dubai to enhance commodity trade flows through the Emirates by providing the physical market and financial infrastructure required. Nearly 10 years later, we are the UAE's fastest growing free zone and play a critical role in the gold industry, including other related industries. We are dedicated to the growth of the promotion of Dubai and the UAE as a whole, as a global center for the trade of gold, and we have been integrated the refining and manufacturing of trading gold. Before I go on, let me highlight what shaped the new revamped DMCC. I believe most of you are familiar with the challenges that the global markets have faced, and we are all face different challenges. We all have different targets, but one thing that's been consistent with DMCC, we are extremely delivery oriented. Now, I had an excellent relationship with the first team that I worked with in DMCC. My managements have changed 4 times since the inception. But the longest term was with David Rutledge, Colin Griffith. There was a period with Hamid Kadham, Farid Ahmed. I have a relationship with Wahid Atallah and Hussein Sajwani. Mr. Chairman, on the left. The relationship are there because DMCC took ownership of challenges in Dubai. There was my most difficult period was not 2008. It had nothing to do with the recession. My most difficult period was looking at the blueprint, which the gold souk assured me they will never go to. Too far. It's too far away from where the real center is. In any case, we stuck to the decree that's been tailor-made by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, and we had a direction to work through. Now, these challenges we've overcome those challenges. Then came the strange incident where there was the debt issues of Dubai, which has been taken care of. But at that time, the media were trigger happy. I don't see them very trigger happy as for the Western matters in the US and the UK as they are in the Middle East. That being said, I still have a very confident view of what the global market will be. The diamond industry learned a big lesson. The World Federation of Diamond Bourses blames itself for facing an issue, but they are the fastest industry to adapt to the market condition. The President Avi Paz, his quotes are, "Our mistake, we had put all our eggs in one basket. We have put all our eggs in the US. We need to establish diamond exchanges in all diamond centers. Africa, Russia, India, China, and Brazil, also Canada." So, on the diamond exchange is a different story. Their challenges started before the recession when the credit crunch started. And they're very shrewd traders. Right now they still are operating from Almas Tower and looking for more space in Almas Tower. Due to the diamond traders in Almas Tower, the Almas Tower retail and freehold prices are more than 2 or 3 times other office buildings in Dubai and in JLT. It's a great opportunity that the market in Dubai is a buyer's market. It makes the companies we're looking to attract not even blink when it comes to Dubai. Anyways, coming to the point where I faced a small issue where David, who, to all fairness, we recruited him when he was retired. He was a director with Sydney Exchange, chief economist in the New York Mercantile Exchange, I believe. CBOT, he has stints there. He's I believe, nearing 8 years currently. So it wasn't a surprise for me when he came to my office and said, "This is not working." My response was, I shook his hand, thanked him for all his efforts. We'll take it from there. My target was looking at the people I do know within my organization. And there has never been a better relationship I've had with the complete appreciation with the people who works in the Diamond Exchange, the global multi-commodity receipts, and other products in the DMCC. I take my hats off to them for not skipping a beat, and the registration department. But when I looked for a chief executive that would fill that void, I thought of Malcolm Morris. And sometime in Ramadan last year, we had a nice chat. And the idea was, because I'm fasting, we'll only have 10 minutes of talk. The interview went for 3 hours, simply because we wanted to go through every scenario. What if this happened? What if that happens? What would we do there and this? So, from both sides, I wanted to be comfortable with what Malcolm can and what Malcolm is willing to do with the business. Shortly after that, also Gautam, who likes things in a whose strong point is corporate governance and policies, joined in. And with the three of us and the rest of DMCC who believed in the new revamped concept of DMCC and embracing the challenges, we started off. I mean, I could have waited and played it by ear, listened to the experts what they say. Frankly, at that time, I did not care for the experts. I wanted to give this a shot, and if it fails then, by all means, take it over. I believe most of you know, the last 2-3 years has been the best years of DMCC, and for me personally. I'd like to start off with a few points before unveiling the UAE national product, which will be actually an international product, and make other products run for their money. I'd like to just point out some golden rules that I believe executives and employees in DMCC and other organizations should hold dearly to their heart and keep in mind. First of all, you cannot work through one day with lacking honesty. That road is a very short road. Yep. And we do understand that's a rarity in the global markets. Focus on objectiveness rather than subjectiveness or any other matter that you focus on. Joining an organization like Dubai government, join with the attitude of what and how can I add value to Dubai and the UAE. Don't even send your CV if the subject is what can I get out of this. There is no space for that. And if I do find out someone has turned into that, my strong point as being an HR director is more in firing than hiring. So I only hire people with the strongest ethics, and if they do turn into bad apples, I think it's unfair to the people who are looking for a job and want to prove themselves in Dubai to keep that person in the organization. You open the door for others. Golden opportunities, I might have mentioned a little bit. I think today is testimony to that. I am launching this project in Ramadan, while others would take it easy in Ramadan and assume that Ramadan is not the right time. I totally disagree. Everybody else is at home, reads the paper more at Ramadan, relaxes at Ramadan, so I know exposure will be very strong locally, and internationally it's not a big effect. In the recession, as I mentioned, and financial crisis, the volumes of commodities trade even higher. Confidence in gold, I don't need to prove that to you. The value of gold, which in turn also brought me to rush and unveil this project that I'm about to do. It has been in DMCC's nature to implement His Highness, his quote, which says, "Seek the opportunities in the challenges, not the challenges and opportunities." And we've always done that. And again, I have to remind you, if we do have someone that doesn't agree, we find ways of finding another place for them that doesn't affect us. I'd like to thank a few people here. I'd like to first of all thank my critics. Doesn't matter how harsh it is, it just keeps us on our toes. My relationship with Peter Mays, for example, the first 4 to 5 years, Peter was, I wouldn't call him my nemesis, but he wasn't someone that was overlooking DMCC. He warned his government of the potential growth of DMCC. When Al-Mas Tower sold out in a record time of 2 hours to end users, no use of Dubai Properties, Dubai Property Group, Nakhil, or Astico, or Al-Khayyat, or any of the brokers. The idea behind it was to give 2 weeks to the end users who really need it, and then look, if I'm in trouble and I have 90% of that building or 50% that's empty, let's see what you can do. The Al-Mas Tower got sold in a couple of hours. The Gold Tower got sold the next day, so that's over 100 floors. Silver Tower, we slowed it down. We wanted to be hand-picking the end users more and actually challenging the space they wanted. Even though the contracts did not allow them to flip the property, they could only sell it to DMCC members. That's in the contract. And if they do sell it to a DMCC member, there's also an extra fee if the time is short. It's obvious that they were just buying it for extra that. So it was very difficult. I'd like to send great thanks to Emirates Security and Commodities Authority, because the Dubai Gold and Commodities Exchange would not be doing the record numbers it's doing right now in the Indian rupee contracts, and the whole volume basket of products there. I'd like to thank the central bank for showing its support, for attending the first World Federation of Diamond Bourses President's meeting in Dubai. I'd like to thank the federal government. I'd also like to thank entities that I have not dealt a lot with. The Dubai Financial Security Authority, the Dubai Mercantile Exchange, previously DIFX and Nasdaq Dubai. If it wasn't for their hunger to and all the announcements they've been making, we may not have felt the pressure to move fast and capture opportunities. So, no hard feelings to the FSA. We did go with ESCA. We did not want to wait. We did not want to wait 6 months for them to review our documents as an exchange. So ESCA to us was the more robust system. The central bank had a more mature system and understood our business, which was funny to me, because I was reading in other places that they're the old and this is the newer version, but you have no idea how in line central bank is and how they understand what the financial markets are. Testimony to that is the fiasco that's happening in Wall Street and the politics in the US and the downgrading of the US. So I take my hats off again to the central bank and the federal government and His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed. Going back to today's event, one of the challenges we faced with the design, the team here say the scale of Burj Khalifa. This is the last challenge. The first challenge was to find an image that reflects the United Arab Emirates. Palm Jumeirah, as iconic as it is, it's a Dubai image. Any other project is still a Dubai image. When Burj Khalifa came to a reality, I was the happiest, even though I was not part of A'mar, because I knew with Burj Khalifa I can come up with the gold bullion coin, which I hope the central bank will implement as a legal tender in the near future. The team faced some matters with finding the correct scale and giving it its aura, its real imposing effect on the public's view, and the details. The feat was finally achieved, and the prototype was minted successfully by Argor Hiraeus from Switzerland. Let me make a statement here. Let me guarantee this product will put the UAE among the top 3 gold bullion coin traders in the world. I'd like to thank you all for coming here today. And before I open the floor for questions, I'd like to call my father to unveil the gold coin. Father. وين هاي؟ مرة واحدة.